Welcome to Rootstem Gaming, guys. Contrast painting video. You probably knew one were coming. These are the colours that I've bought, and I've realised I've not bought myself a brown. Oh dear. That it'll have to do. Right, I've picked up some yellow or red. I've done the usuals. What I call the usuals. We've got some black, we've got blue, we've got grey, we've got yellow, we've got red, white, flesh colour, and of course we've got some orc flesh, but that's of course to make sure that we've got some green. Now the figures here in front of us, this is just a standard old school Chaos Space Marine. Not as much detail as you get on a lot of the newer figures. There's a reason for that. I'm going to be trying this out with figures that are not really got a lot of detail on, to see whether or not these paints are going to be any good just on your standard old school minis, just to be able to get through them quickly. The next lot here, these are figures from a game called Dead Man's Hand. This is the Desperado set. We've got a Native American, a couple of people that have gone against the their unit in sort of like like the Americas. I can't remember what these are called, to be honest with you. I'm an Englishman after all. Maybe I turn some light on, that might actually help. I'm just waiting for their bases to kind of dry off, and I'm going to be using, these are metal figures, so the reason I'm going to be using them on is because the detail for these is very, very different to a Games Workshop plastic. If it would fucking zoom in. There we go. The detail on these is very different to a Games Workshop plastic figure. So the idea is that then, to see whether or not this range will actually work on other people's models. I always find that if you're going to actually have a paint range, if it doesn't work on other people's models, you're not going to get that many sales. Right. So in this particular video, we're going to do two. The next one is going to be me, next week of course, or maybe in a few days, is going to be me painting the Desperados. But in this one, we're going to be painting the Chaos Space Marine. Now we're going to be painting him black. We're going to be painting him Black Legion. So effectively, if you remember my other video, which of course I was doing the test with these models. God, can you see the size difference on them? On them models, I didn't like the black. I thought the black was very, very weak. So what we're going to do, we're going to apply 2 layers of black to that. And we're going to see what it does. We're going to control it. We're going to use thinner brushes than I used at Games Workshop, because they were like all on about, yeah, use big fat brushes. I personally don't think that's going to be the way forward. I think we're going to have to use black brushes. So I'm going to use a very standard brush that I normally use for painting. We're going to paint that with some of the Black Templar, and we're going to go from there. So I've cracked open the black, got my standard brush that I tend to use. I've done the typical painter's thing of licking it. I've got some on my brush now. I'm not overloading my brush. I used a lot last time around and overloaded, so I'm going to try and just keep it a bit thinner, and maybe try and use 2 coats on this thing. And then obviously we've got to try and get it into all the nooks and crannies and creases and blah 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 blah. But I know there's no silver colours. There's no metallics in this particular range, as far as I am aware. So we're going to paint this just with 1 layer of this. Alright, let me lather this paint on, and we'll come back to it. So the first, focus, come on. First layer of this is on and glistening. Let's wait for that to dry. I know I've missed a bit, but it doesn't matter. This is just a test figure. And then we'll wait for that to dry, and we'll get the second colour on. So the first layer for me is pretty much nearly dry. What I'm going to do is to add the second layer. So I'm going to do it, like I say, I'm going to do this over twice. I know they say you're supposed to just do 1 thick coat, but I'm going to be doing 2 thick coats. on this black to see if we can get a black. So that's a second layer of black. It does look a lot darker. Let's see what it looks like when it's finished drying. Right, so that's putting a second layer of black on. That looks a lot better to me. Little highlighting in the corners, but to me that looks a hell of a lot better than it did with just one layer of black on. I might finish this model just to sort of see what this actually looks like. It's only going to be a quick video, really just having a look at the Black Templar colour to try and get a Black Legion Space Marine. So far, you're going to have to paint it twice. So I've tried to just quickly. I've not highlighted anything or anything like that, but I'll just put some brass on. That on the horns is a very old flesh wash that I've tried to see if it was very similar to the current paints that Games Workshop's doing, and they're not. it's nowhere near the same. Above, of course, on the skull above was a wash. The other skull's not gone very well. That's the silver backpack. 2 coats of black seem to be okay. Again, from a distance, it's probably going to be better. I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but it gets the job done, and I suppose it makes people paint. But I did have to use 2 coats of black. Right, I'm going to leave it there. It's only a quick one, because I only recently just got the paints. So it's only a quick demonstration of the black, because of course the black I felt was the weakest colour. But we will see you next time, hopefully with the cowboys. Not cowboys, desperados, but you know, guys know what I mean. And we'll see what they look like once I actually manage to finish them off. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button if you want to see more. And of course, you can always try and donate. Keep the channel running at rootstem.co.uk using the PayPal button. That's on the homepage. Right, thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next time.